Hi everyone, welcome back to Dr. J Tech.
Double J gives you the whole new tech.
This is Jacqueline.
This is Jeffrey.
We want to bring up a topic that many of you might not know about it. In today's world, what you should know is Musk's SpaceX company has proposed the Starlink project, which is expected to deploy 12,000 communication satellites over the Earth in the future.
Exactly, Jacqueline. They will not replace ground base station and fiber optical networks. They are not 5G, let alone 6G.
Most importantly, the protagonist of 5G and 6G will still be ground-based stations, and satellites are only supporting roles in the future.
Yeah, in recent years, the development of self-published media through YouTube, Facebook, and other social media sites have allowed people to share news pertaining to politics, travel, and lifestyle-focused information.
For the past 2 years, more content creators have begun to share information news online. It is extremely fortunate phenomenon that many of them are paying attention to scientific knowledge.
Yeah, but this has also created problems amongst the community.
Right. The majority of the content creators online don't have enough scientific and technological foundation to explain everything in depth, resulting in several accurate streams of fact-checking turning into inaccurate theories. And as a wrong perception and approach spreads, it causes more harm than the good of the scientific community.
Yeah, what we need to know now is that the Musk SpaceX company expect to deploy 12,000 satellites over the Earth in the future, called the Starlink project.
In June 2019, it launched the first rocket to carry 60 satellites at a time and successfully entered orbit.
Then, in June 2020, it successfully experimented with the recovery of rocket technology to create a topic again.
Many self-media outlets took advantages of this topic and produced videos to accompany the animation to report on this topic, saying that Trump plans to skip 5G and start 6G directly and use satellites as base stations. The speed is 1,000 times that of 5G. The Starlink project 6G, which has already been quietly launched and invested $10 billion, is simply too cheap. It will be a very profitable project in the future. Citing multiple correct informations and sticking it will turn into wrong conclusions. So are those correct and are those wrong again?
Well, that's a good question. We can talk about communication satellite first. Could you give us an explanation?
The so-called communication satellites is to move a base station on the roof of a ground level building into space. The advantages is that the signal coverage is large and can be transmitted to be almost any corner of the world. It is mainly divided into 3 categories.
That's right. Well, the first one is the synchronous Earth orbit satellite or geostationary Earth orbit, so-called GEO. It is a satellite that operates synchronously with the Earth at a distance of around 35,000 kilometers from the ground. It has a long transmission distance and a delay time of about 250 milliseconds. Since the altitude is high enough, only 3 satellites are required to cover the most area.
The second one is medium Earth orbit, which is MEO. It is an orbit between 2,000 kilometers and 35 kilometers from the ground, with a delay of time about 100 milliseconds at present. It is mainly used by navigation satellites, including the Global Satellites Position System, GPS, of the United States, Galileo of Europe, GLONASS of Russia, and Beidou of mainland China. It takes about 20 satellites to cover most areas.
And the last one is low Earth orbit satellite, so-called LEO. It is less than 2,000 kilometers from the ground. Due to its proximity to the ground, the latency is about 20 milliseconds.
Well, at present, most of them are used by observation satellites, measurement satellites, and some new communication satellites.
Yeah, it takes about 5,000 satellites to reach 2,000 kilometers from the ground and about 10,000 satellites to cover most areas at a distance of 500 kilometers from the ground.
And don't forget, 10,000 satellites are required to cover most areas at 500 kilometers from the ground.
Right. And the altitude of the satellite of the Starlink project is about 400 kilometers, so 12,000 satellites are required.
So many may have wondered that advances have been made in communication satellites in the past few years.
Well, the Iridium project, initiated by Motorola in the 1990s, went bankrupt in 2000. And you might be asking, why have many companies restarted their communication satellite project in recent years?
The main reason is that breakthroughs in rocket carrying capacity in recent years have led to a significant reduction in the cost of launching satellites.
In addition, microsatellites have become mainstream because the cost is low and the rocket can launch a large number of satellites in a single time. Coupled with the successful rocket recovery technology experiment, rocket launch cost can be saved.
In addition, breakthrough in radio frequency components and antenna technology have made the performance of satellite communications much improved compared to 20 years ago. The breakthrough in high-throughput satellite technology has made it possible for satellite to support the data transmission rate of more than 10 gigabits.
You are right, Jacqueline. The satellite of the Starlink project claims to be able to reach 20 gigabit per second. It is because of this advancement that the company has the opportunity to convince inventors.
Well, let's talk about another question. Will communication satellites replace ground-based stations?
Although communication satellites have the advantages of large coverage, they have many disadvantages, such as it is difficult to repair faults in outer space. All satellites have a service life, and the low-orbit microsatellites generally have a shorter lifespan due to carrying less fuel and a faster operation speed.
Yes, and generally about 3 to 5 years. Due to the long distance, the latency is long. The latency is the time for users to trigger actions and to get responses. Even low-orbit satellites take about 20 milliseconds, which is much longer than in 5G's 1 millisecond.
In addition, signals to be transmitted from mobile phone to 500 kilometers of satellite consume much more power than 5 kilometers of ground-based station. So, mobile satellite telephones require large batteries and are large in size.
Most communication satellites use electromagnetic waves in the Ka and the Ku bands. With a frequency about 10 to 30 gigahertz, the electromagnetic diffraction characteristics of this frequency are poor, and it's not easy to bypass obstacles.
Yes, it cannot be received indoors and generally received by a ground station or a dish antenna on the roof. After receiving it, it is more feasible to transfer to a mobile device.
Therefore, communication satellites are mainly used as a connection between two ground stations, rather than direct communications with mobile phones. So it is absolutely impossible to replace ground-based stations. But will communication satellites replace terrestrial fiber optical networks?
Well, that's a good question, but our time is up.
Well, come back next week and we'll bring back more information to you guys. This is Jacqueline.
And this is Jeffrey.
And we'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye.